Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. We know who blew up the NordStream pipelines. Now, this is for sure. This is 100% accurate. I guarantee you the guys in Russia will not believe anything I say regarding this, but hey, it's not my opinion, it is the Telegraph, is it? Yes, the Telegraph. The Telegraph knows who blew the Nord Stream pipelines. And guess what? Are the ones that are already being punished. Therefore, so be it, is the Ukrainians. Now, is it possible? Yes. It is probable? I don't think so. So let me show you the article that I have here with this little piece of information, which these guys are claiming it's a reality. Here it is. Revealed, man. It's revealed right there. You see that? It is from the Telegraph. It is September 11, 2025. Revealed how an elite Ukrainian unit blew up the Nord Stream pipelines. There you go. Zaluzhny. This is one of the guys that was apprehended in Italy, and he told everything. And this is the famous Andromeda, I think it is, little yacht with the 5 guys and a gal, or 6 guys and a girl. It doesn't really matter because I don't believe squat of what these guys say. But I thought that I should show you, maybe you believe it. For the high-level gathering of Ukrainian military officers, there was every reason to celebrate. It was early May 2022, a month after Russia's failed siege of Kiev. Now, you know, or if you don't know, that means you're keeping a secret, that it was not a siege. Do you remember being a siege? I know how it was. The Russians got to Kiev, and then after they got to Kiev, what they do? They stopped a little bit. They didn't attack, and then they retreated. Was that a siege? If I remember, it was 1 or 2 tanks tried to do something, and that was it. Now, that was not a siege, but hey, if the guys in Telegraph want to lie like this, it's not the first time when they do it, all right? According to the Russians, they say, no, actually, we withdrew. I'm not saying it's true. That's what they said. We withdrew because the Ukrainians agreed to negotiate and to end the garbage. Whereas the Russians said, we're going to retreat, and the Ukrainians, according to the Russians, they lied. All right, that's what they said, my friends. So let's see what else. All right, Vladimir Putin forces an unexpected bloody nose. The group met for a few well-earned drinks. This is the imbeciles from the Telegraph, from Great Britain. What do they know? To lie, and to oppress, and to conquer, and to exploit, and to bring civilization. Or perhaps more than a few. For as the booze flowed, talk moved on 2 ways to hit the Kremlin where it hit really hurt. How about, for example, blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline 1 and 2? The question is, did they hit only the Kremlin or Berlin as well? All right, so it hurt the Berlin even more than the Russians. The twin pipelines carrying Russian gas to Germany, to the German people that needed it and their industry across the Baltic Sea. Doing so would cost Russia billions of pounds in lost sale revenues and end Germany's unhealthy dependence on cheap Kremlin energy. So now they have a healthy one, but have a dependency on expensive Washington, D.C. energy. You understand? This is what it is. If they got caught, though, they'd be in trouble. Kiev's European allies. Hey, isn't Germany a European ally? So the guys in Ukraine decided that they will end Germany's unhealthy dependence because the Germans were just baboons and they couldn't, man. The Germans could not end their own dependency of the cheap Russian gas. So the Ukrainians said, you know what? We are going to get you out of the jail that you do not want to get out of, which is cheap Russian gas. I mean, this is Telegraph. Do not ever believe Telegraph. If you did, do not. If you're not, not a medal. They are so baboons. All right, let's move on and read further, because they're going to tell us how the mighty Ukrainians blew up something without being able to. All right. Ordinarily, the drinkers might have woken up hangover the next day and realized they got carried away. On this occasion, though, what sounds like the script of an overeager thriller became reality. These guys are talking like it's... my God. All right, so what they did, and supposedly they blew up the NordStream pipeline, okay? So finally they did it with, like, identified only as Serhiy K. What was his name? I can't remember. The Russians named it Kuznetsov, I think it was, because it was a Russian. Kuznetsov, I think it was an admiral, yeah. So Serhiy, his name is Kuznetsov. We know, you fucking cunts. We only know his name is Serhiy Kuznetsov. Serhiy K. He is understood to be a retired Ukrainian sea captain, an ex-Secret Service officer. So what is it, 1,000 years old? Perhaps one of his court appearance where he denied the charges showed a muscular, shaven-head figure being escorted back to a prison van. Oh my God. Oh yeah. So when they say this guy said he was part of a group of individuals who placed explosives on the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines using the Andromeda. Here's the guy right there. All right, supposedly. All right. And they use that little, let me see where is that. From Rostock, they did Bavaria, and this is what they did over there. Look how many they did. Look at that, my friends. Okay, that's what it is. And then you go down with the little ship somewhere down here. I will show you. This is it, man. Have you seen it? This is the Andromeda, man. All Bavaria 50 cruiser. That's what they did. Okay, so why do they lie like this? I tell you why they lie like this. Because what are the Russians gonna do? Nothing. Well, because the Ukrainians will say, well, that was a strategic point we had to destroy, as nowadays we destroy in the name of the West at their command, their pipelines and infrastructure and how do you call it, oil depots and all the transmissions, all the nuts and oil. They do it in the name of what? Refineries. Even they want to destroy the, how do you call it, the shadow fleet. And what are the Russians gonna say? That's not called terrorist attack. That's called part of the war. You got that? So this is the escape. It's not gonna be the Americans. If the Americans do it to an ally, we're gonna be like, oh my God, you did this to the Germans as you did to the Qatar by having the Patriot systems off, so the other guys hit them. That's what happened. Why do you think Qatar did not hit one incoming missile from Israel? When they have Patriot systems. So the Patriot systems could not hit their own missiles coming from Israel, from the Israelis. Come on now. And you know they could be remotely stopped. Nevertheless, I made a video on that one. Go and watch it. So it's the easy escape here. No, they did it. They didn't do it. This is like September 11. It's the same thing that you look at it and you say, man, maybe for people with half of brain this would fly. But people who have half of brain plus one, it doesn't. Well, the steel melted. That's how the towers collapsed. Free fall. Not anything, no, free fall straight on the spot, man. Why? Because those metal steel beams that were calculated for that you can melt them only with extra air. Oh, the wind was blowing. Remember, steel melts if you force air and you raise the temperatures. You can't do it. You can't melt steel in a natural environment. Like you get steel put in a fireplace or put in a fire like I do in the camping. It will not melt. You can blow and let the wind blow on it how much you want. You can use your farts as well. Give them some methane or something. They will not melt. But over there in the air, yeah, man, it melted, man. And after it melted, it collapsed like that. I mean, it's the same with the landing on the moon. Really? Okay, so the same with these guys. They tell us that these guys went over there with that thing, right there. You see that thing? With that thing, and it need to have about a ton of explosives. That thing, a ton. That's how I read. You need a ton to put explosives. Now the explosives, you don't take them over there with on your backpack and you blah, and you put. It doesn't work that way. You plant them with small submarines that Ukraine does not have. So who might have done it? Some people say the special forces from Royal Navy. Some people say, well, some people from the Americans. Some people say the Norwegians helped. So the Ukrainians did not have the means and the know-how. They could have the people who were ready to go, man. Give me right here the explosion. I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to be like Tarzan. Let's go and push a button and everything is going to be good. I'm not making fun of those guys, but it's the same thing with the moon landing. Have you ever had a scuba diving? Or these guys, did you see how big those air containers are? How do you call it? I can't remember the name. Remember, they last about an hour or something. Do you know how much time those guys were on the moon with the whatever they had in the back in 1969 or something, or whatever that was? Do you know? Anyway, but people still believe that. They still believe many things. So the same here. They say, well, what's wrong, man? Just up, let's go. Davai. Svetlana, are you ready? Let's go. Boom. Kapaboom. I don't believe that. Squat. But hey, Telegraph tells you so. And people who know nothing will say, yeah, what's wrong, Emil? Is it impossible? Kind of yes. Kind of yes. How do you think those guys were over there? How do you think they planted that? And nobody saw them. Nothing, man, nothing. For how long do you think that operation lasted? I would say days. So nobody, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Oh no, you just staying in the sun and having a little bit of a tanning to my balls. They solved the problem. Not. But it's convenient. Because otherwise, the American finger will be... Why do you think the Germans did not find anything yet? The Swedes and the Danish people, the Danes, why do you think that they couldn't? Because the obvious reason would have been those allies of ours. It would be not a scandal. It would be harder to lie to their own population. Like this, why didn't they come with this in the first place? Why didn't they say that from the beginning? From the beginning, when that happened, the Ukrainians come, we did it. It's a war. That was a strategic whatever. That's it. Target. We did it. What are you going to do to us? Nothing. Why? Because everything you do to us now, you would have done then. Which is what exactly? Now you send drones because we blow up your, refineries. We destroy your refineries, man. We destroyed Druzhba pipeline. What do? So why didn't they come then, but they come not even now? Because remember, that guy denied the charges. He didn't say, yeah, man, I did it. Why not? Why not? Because they know they need to prepare the imbeciles, little by little. They can't take it. Even the baboons, while they're eating their fleas, if things are a little bit too low to their hair, I'm like, that's what they're gonna do. Otherwise, they're like, but if they come too fast, even the baboon will be, startled. That's how it is, my friends. So they have to prepare the baboons in the society, right? That kind of strata of the society that knows nothing but to get injected, put masks, drive the cars with a mask, get updated to their boosters, be in the basement, don't look at the sun at all because it gives cancer, love renewal and energy like the wind and the sperm, okay, and they're all for peace and all that, but instead, Charlie Kirk, those are the people, know nothings, but dangerous. So I don't believe squat. You believe it? I mean, you tell me you believe it. And tell me under what kind of circumstances. If you tell me, well, you know what, I mean, I'm a scuba diver instructor, or let's say I was a Navy SEAL, or let's say I was in the Special Forces of the Royal Navy, and yeah, the Ukrainians could do that. With what fucking, just like backpacks? For the parachute, I'm going in. Is that how it works? And you say, it's too simplistic, Emil. No, I think you are too simplistic. It's very simplistic to make it simplistic. The reality is they didn't have the means. Clear? Done. And if they did, who provided them? That yacht? Do you think they were just diving from the school? All right, too much. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. They solved the problem. Why didn't they say it then? Why now? What would change now? What is the difference between then and now? And remember, oh, I forgot to tell you, at the end of it, we find out that Zelensky did not authorize that, but that evil guy or hero authorized it. He said, I'm going to do it. Let me show you. Right there. Here. Right there. The Wall Street Journal, for its part, reported, don't believe them, report that General Zaluzhny had ignored Zelensky's orders, so he's absorbed of this, to halt the operation, citing Ukrainian officers and officials said to be familiar with the events. But the man himself, who has served as ambassador to London since 2024, has dismissed suggestions of Kiev involvement as provocations. So what is it? So he is lying? Who's lying? Both. Now, why? Anyway, so here, no, I didn't. These guys, if you leave them in a cage, this kills this. Got it? That's clear. But nevertheless, he's not allowed to do it because Zelensky has his tribe around, covering and supporting and opening doors and protecting and so on, and got the West by the balls. I'm sorry, by the peanuts. Click, 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 click. That's what the West has. Russians have balls. The other guys are just weasels, bottom feeders. Again, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.